This is it. We're doing it. This is my set. The first episode will be in black and white just because I enjoy the noir. I enjoy the shadow behind me. My name is Josh Shakespeare. That is my real last name. I'm not going to introduce myself that way every single time, but just it's better when you hear it over HD microphone, over a Shure. I am just obsessed with the sound of my own voice. I enjoy the noir aesthetic. I enjoy that it looks black and white. It's reminiscent of the opening to Casino Royale, when he became a 00. When Dryden sat down, he was like, "Your file shows no kills," but then it's just me in the position. Your file
shows no kills. And it takes
2.
Fight back, nigga! Fight back, nigga! Fight back! Fight back!
Anyway, so for 10 minutes, I'm just going to talk about what's been going on in my life lately. I have been, just for starters, every Monday would be therapy day for me, but my therapist moved to a private practice, and it's going to be $175 per session as opposed to the copay, which is $15 because of my mother's insurance. So I tell people that I'm actually fully healed and I don't need therapy anymore, but in actuality, it's just, not being toxic costs money. I have been absolutely furious at the littlest things for the past couple of days. The littlest thing just sets me off for some reason, and I have no idea why. I've been trying to figure this out. I've been doing the journaling and the meditation and the going to the gym, like hitting a punching bag. Yesterday I went to the beach at night. It was disgusting. I went to Santa Monica Beach, and it was it was Santa Monica Beach. I walked, I did the Venice Gold's Gym because that's the only one in California that is open until 11 p.m. on the weekends. And then by myself, which I enjoy doing, touched the sand with my feet, walked straight into the ocean. All the lifeguards were off duty. I'm not sure what the regulation is. Like if somebody gets into the ocean and they drown, they're like, because there were like no signs that said, please don't get into the water right now. We are off duty. It just read off duty. It'd be great if underneath that they were like, just figure it out. If something happens, do something. So that's just where I'm at right now. Is I genuinely don't feel as though right now like I have any friends. That's another thing too. That's another reason why I'm here and I'm talking to you guys. I don't think I have any friends right now. I mean, I do have friends as far as like, comedy is concerned and in the entertainment industry, and like, oh, we're content creators and we're all figuring it out. And oh my God, it's like 16, that show on Cartoon Network. But it'd be nice to have friends that aren't sociopaths. It'd be nice to just have friends outside of the entertainment industry. But I mean, we'll see. This is a part of the growing process because I turned 24 in February, and the more I go on, the less people I'm coming in contact with. One friend in particular that I haven't, we used to be like really close, and then now he won't pick up my phone calls. So, and hilariously, I know it's not anything that I did. It could be, but I know it's not anything that I did. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, Because on one hand, you want it to be like, oh, it's the universe telling you that you no longer have these types of deep connections with certain people. As you grow, as you actively attract one thing, you actively repel the other thing. So I just don't like the fact that I'm repelling a lot of these friendships that I thought were going to last for a very, very long time. And I suppose 3 years is a long time, but, when you're just sort of floating on an island by yourself, the island just slowly keeps breaking off piece by piece by piece. Yeah, that's just And that's just where I'm at right now. This is sort of going to be, the first segment of this is going to be a therapy session, sort of. And then the second segment will be political, and the third segment will be topical. It'll just be what's going on in the world as we speak. But I really wanted to get into this. I really wanted to express this to somebody, or at least into a microphone. After a comedy show I was doing, it wasn't really a show, but like I had a spot. I had a spot on a show, and after I got off stage, an associate, a comedian colleague of mine, told me that while I was on stage, he whispered to another friend of mine, quote, he needs to get laid so badly because everything he's saying on stage right now ensures that he never will. Now, just saying it right now, like I feel like a sense of disgust. I've healed from it. I'd say I have. At the moment, at that time, it felt like being punched in the stomach. Now, the only reason why it particularly didn't necessarily offend me, but it did strike an uncertain nerve, because at the time I wasn't necessarily sure if he was right or not. Because you know how they say, well, you can only be offended by something, and you can only be offended by something, and you can only be like hurt or shamed by something unless you genuinely feel shame, unless you genuinely believe that what they're saying about you is true. And prior to that, I just sort of got out of a relationship, not like one of those relationships where, not like it was romantic. Like at the beginning of the year, I met a woman, and we hit it off. We didn't have sex yet. But I thought that the relationship is going to be I thought it was going to be the end of it. Like I'm so eager to just like find a woman and just kind of like stop dating just overall, just in general, because I've just had enough of everything. But that was a poor choice. I'm so eager to just kind of just be done with it. The second I find a girl that I get along with and that she likes me back, I'm like, all right, that's it. We're done. No more dating. No more talking. I've had enough. And then since then I've taken a break, but I haven't fully addressed. I'm understanding now entirely how that situation with the woman, which we will discuss further in later episodes, how that made me feel. And I understood that I haven't fully healed from it. And there was a piece of me that in a lot of ways what he said was absolutely horrendous and just, very uncalled for and very nasty. And you can make the argument that it had nothing to do with me. Him saying that had nothing to do with me. It could have been just like a very evil thing that kind of came from, whatever situation he's going through in his life, to where he felt like he needed to take it out on. Because like he is another comedian, and I'm assuming that was a joke, but I didn't laugh or anything like that, because I specifically came up to him afterwards to get feedback on my set. So I realized that I didn't fully like myself at the time. I didn't know that I hadn't considered that that was it. That I was never going to find another girl again, etc. I had no idea that I hadn't answered that question or hadn't addressed that feeling until I had that conversation with him. So if I leave you with anything today, it's just that despite the disgusting, evil, and horrendous, and uncalled for, and piece of shit things that people may say to you, you may need to hear it because it'll help you. I'm trying my best to take credit for what he said, but yeah, I hadn't necessarily really spoken to anyone about that except for my mother. So yeah, that is actually, I'm not sure how I feel about it now that I'm actually getting this out there, but that's just sort of, that's where I'm coming at this from when someone said that to me. So, I mean, yeah, that was just very uncalled for though. Like, who the fuck are you? But again, he's right. He's not right. I felt it was uncalled for. But But yeah, this is gonna be the new show. So welcome. We're gonna be doing a lot of these. This is not for you. This is not for anybody else but me. A lot of time and energy went into this set, and I hope I can make the most of it while I'm here. So, I mean, thank you guys for listening right now. We'll be right back after this short break. Okay, we're back. So we're going to play this video that I thought was really interesting. I check my phone every morning, and it's a habit I'm going to get out of. I'm reading Atomic Habits as we speak. It was funny to me. So let's just get into this video, though. I just saw this video from an X account, but let's look at it.
Kid's father.
Okay, good. I was asking for you.
Yeah, I'll take another 3 minutes. So that's my son,
Okay.
11 years old, and went to his library and found that by the entry door of our library, this is the smut that he is finding, all right? I don't care whether it's gay, straight, bisexual, whatever the terms are for all this stuff, doesn't need to be at our school. Doesn't need to be at my 11-year-old's library. And then as far as genderqueer, I've got a son in the high school as well. And this is bullshit. We know it, all right? We do not need to be having literature that's showing boys how to suck dick, all right? I'm very, very frustrated about it, okay? And you may think that schools know the best for our children. You know who know the best for our children? The parents.
Right. So, yeah, and that's the end of it. So we're going to cut it right there. So, this is becoming every single board meeting. This is becoming every single school board meeting. Is parents just being like, before this, back in the day, like school board meetings, it always used to be very campy and wholesome, where they were like, yeah, so I understand that you guys are going to be adding breadsticks to the school lunch. And my son has a few dietary restrictions, and I just wanted to know where you guys are at as far as alternative lunch and breakfast options. We went from that to now, hey, so just real quick. So why did you think it was necessary to show my son your asshole in the middle of class? That's what's happening now, is that we are so done as a country. Every single time I go on the internet, I see yet another parent that's just like, so are all of you going to be wearing Daisy Dukes while you teach a class, or is it just going to be that 35-year-old man over there? Is it going to be all of you? Okay, well maybe let's focus a little bit more on the curriculum as opposed to the expression. You know? And I love how, like, every parent has to do this now. They have to put, like, qualifiers on everything they say before they criticize the curriculum. They go, like, listen, I don't care. Do whatever you want to do on your own time. Everyone does that, by the way, whenever they like, because that's how you know they've been, like, further. What was that Jordan Peterson thing he did on Joe Rogan where he was like, I'm encroaching on you step by step by step, and you're going to reach a point where you wondered how you got this far, and it's because you just kept taking that one step back in the first place. So I just love how, like, you know they don't actually think that. They actually, if you got them behind closed doors, it'd be like, yeah, I think they're all fucking mentally ill, but I have to put the qualifier on it before I say what I actually have to say. But every parent is just like, yeah, you know, do whatever you want to do, man. Yeah. I mean, hey, you know, you want to have sex with animals, that's totally fine, but maybe let's, like, not do it, you know, during school hours. You know what I mean? Like, maybe let's not do that, you know? There's no room for guns in schools, but there's room for, like, 50,000 pride flags. I mean, it's just become a point now where, like, every single day, and that's another thing too. I've reached a point now where I'm starting to think that, like, Earth is being punked. Like, I think Earth is being punked, actually. Every headline you see is just the weirdest. It's a headline that you would think that would be. Every headline you see now would have been in the background of a really, really funny comedy in the 80s, right? Every headline now is like Toys R Us apologizes for having dildo in the little girl section. Like every single headline is one of those. I've just had enough. This guy was in Maine, and these parents are removing degenerate porn published by groomers, quote unquote, teaching young boys how to suck dick. Now, why is this why is this a part of the curriculum? When did this need to be a part of the? I just like the idea that there's going to be a kid in class that's like looking at the book on how to suck dick, and he's just like, yeah, hi, miss. So like, why do we need this later on in the, how that we would ask that same questions in math? Like, when am I ever going to use this? Like, when am I going to, like, I don't know. You thinking about becoming an actor anytime soon? You thinking about maybe like starring in a movie? I just can't. There's like hundreds and hundreds of videos about this, about parents at school board meetings just doing this, and that is the one interesting thing though, is that like nobody in the LGBTQ or no one who's like far left progressive, no one who's far liberal, they have all the arguments to cover this, but they never have like a response or a rebuttal for this. It's like there's no argument. There's like, yeah, so what are you? The homophobia, yes, that exists, and there are people who are very, very mean and very, very hateful towards anyone in the LGBTQ at times where it's very, 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 very unnecessary. And I don't know, as I just said that, you can be like, well, when is it necessary? That's not what I meant. I meant like as far as just like very, what's the word I'm looking for? Unwarranted and very red hot hate. There are a lot of that. Yes, let's acknowledge that. Absolutely. However, can we also acknowledge that there are adults teaching 2-year-olds other things they can do with that pacifier? Can we acknowledge that? Every conversation I have with people like this, where I'm like, no, you're right. Absolutely, homophobia exists. There are people who mean everyone in the LGBTQ, every minority harm. We can have two conversations at once. Can we talk about that? But then also let's talk about, like, in the middle of the cafeteria, this is a daycare. Why is there a sex swing right here? When did this become a part of the? Okay. Shit. Hey, listen, if schools started teaching people how to actually make money, I'd be like, all right, then yeah, sure, put in an OnlyFans course, because let's be honest, didn't that WNBA player just announce that she's going to be doing OnlyFans? And everybody in the comments was like, well, yeah, how else is she going to make money? Like, I just don't, that was me who said that, but I don't get it. I'm trying to understand why this is a necessity. Why do you need to go into schools for this? I don't, show them something useful, maybe. Like how to run really, really, really fast. How to always be nice to the quiet kid in class so he doesn't come back with, I don't know, an M60 or whatever gun they want to get rid of now. Because there's like 50. But yeah, I can't with this anymore. And every time somebody comes up to me and they go, like, no one comes up to me, but you get the idea. Every time they come up to me and they go, oh, hey, listen, maybe if we stopped with the harassment, with the, anti-LGBTQ rhetoric, we probably wouldn't need to go into schools like that. And I'm like, but was it the kids though? This is just going to make them just a little bit more homophobic if we're being really honest. If there's any time to homeschool your kids at this point, I'm not gonna shit on you. If you want to put your kids in school, if you want to take your kids to a drag show, let's see what happens. But I just, there's no evidence to support that. I'm sure Jeffrey Dahmer never went to a drag show. But even then, it's like, I'm sure it wouldn't have helped. Sure, it wouldn't have helped if he went to a drag show. No, but I'm sure as we go along, I'll find more things to talk about. I'll find it'll be like more fluent. I will keep doing this with the amount of money that went into this, but it was only like $45. But yeah, there's just other. I mean, I don't know. It is very terrifying. I understand wholeheartedly what parents are going through right now. Just in what you hear too, like trans children. But yeah, I'm sure we'll be. Hey guys, I'm sure we'll be all right. So, but yeah, good luck to parents out there, man. Just don't go to the school board meetings anymore. They know what they're doing. I would just homeschool your kids. Now, I understand that this is not an option for a lot of you. Every time you bring up homeschooling their kids, it's like, yeah, but you don't get it though. Sometimes I want to go to the club, and I'm the sole owner of a Fortune 500 company, and I'm the CEO, and it's like, shut up. No, you're not. None of you are doing any of these things. But yeah, I just wow, teaching young boys how to yeah. This is really bad. That's how I know there's no real UFOs. I imagine every time an alien thinks about coming to Earth, he like just kind of turns on the Earth TV, and then he sees a video like this, and he's like, yeah, maybe come back in the next 100,000 years. We'll see where they're at after this. And they just fucking turn the car around. They go, what are they doing over there? Yeah, nope. All right, let's go somewhere else. Yeah, but that's just good. Good luck, guys. Good luck, parents. Good luck. This should be fun. This is like The Walking Dead, but for gay people. Did you guys see that video where there was like a guy who was like he was, I'm assuming it's a dude in makeup, had like lipstick on. It was like, I probably think it was like part of like a Vice thing, and he was like, yeah, I just had like 4 parents pull their kids out of school just for walking into the classroom and looking at me, and he was like, I just don't think I think that's inappropriate. I don't think that parents should do that. And I'm like, well, let's remove you out of the equation. Let's say it's not you. Let's say you walk into class, and for some reason, you see Charles Manson there. And he had with the swastika on his forehead, and you know it's Charles Manson. I mean, at the very least, would you not have any questions? Would you not? Where would you go right after that? Because I know it wouldn't be to go back home to TV and shit like that for the next 8 hours. Where would you go right after that? Would you go to the cops? Would you go to the school board? Would you go to like another teacher and be like, hey, did Charles kill somebody? And then now he's just trying to figure that out. But yeah, all right, we're over the time. Let's go to the next one. All right, we'll be right back. I saw Chris Rock's special. I enjoyed it actually. Out of all the specials I've seen lately, including Cheeseburger by Andrew Santino, which was phenomenal, absolutely. I think that this is I'd say it's a Chris Rock classic, in that it feels as though when he was doing the show, it's like a completely different animal than he did in Tambourine, because I was never personally a Chris Rock fan. I've said this to so many people. Every time people would be like, yo, you just left when Chris Rock came to the Comedy Store, I'd be like, so? I was never really like a Chris Rock fan. I've been told for a couple of years in my life that I looked like that nigga from Everybody Hates Chris. I was never a Chris Rock fan. I was always a fan of Chris Rock's stand-up when he was working things out. If you get a chance right now, like after you watch this and after you listen to this, go to watch Chris Rock's stand-up at the Comic Strip. It's the one where he talks about the Boston bombing, and he talks about, like, oh, if somebody hit Lola, or if like Lola hit somebody else, like what happened, whatever. But it's really, really good. I prefer a more intimate, non-dramatic showcased version of Chris Rock. I enjoy that much more. Same thing with Louis C.K. I was never a Louis C.K. fan until his set got leaked, and he talked about like the school shooting, and he talked about what happened to him after he came back to stand up, and I prefer authenticity. So that's just getting that out the way. A couple of things that he talked about that I agree with was the selective outrage. That was as far as like 0 out of 10, I give this like a 9. In my opinion, is very, 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 very important. So I give him a 9 out of 10. A friend of mine actually spoke about this. Let me see if I can find it. She talked about how every single time he talked about women, fuck that. No, I can't find it. All right. Well, anyway, I don't know. There's not much he said regarding the Chris Rock. Excuse me. There's not much he said regarding the slap that everybody hasn't already said. Where he was like, oh, you're just mad. Like this whole thing started because Jada got upset because her husband was nominated for an Oscar, and as a result, Chris Rock should quit hosting the Oscars and, doing a boycott and shit like that. So, and everybody, there wasn't much he said in that special that didn't echo what everyone had already been saying, which is that slap didn't really have much to do with Chris Rock. It had to do with everybody else. He wasn't really slapping Chris. He was slapping everyone that he couldn't slap. And now arguments like that are funny to me because I can get shot tomorrow, and then you could say the same thing. You'd be like, well, that guy wasn't shooting you. He was really shooting his father, who was never there for him as a child. He was shooting that girl that wouldn't text him back. I'm like, oh, okay, that's right. I feel better now. That gun wound that gun wound now feels like a skinned knee. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Still got slapped on live television. Doesn't really do much. Yeah. It seems as if though, like with these specials coming out now, like that this era is now wrapping up of this sort of like rap battle. You're dumb and I'm smart. There does seem to be a shift now. I could be wrong, but if anything, it's just going to force me to be funnier. But there does seem to be a shift in what comedians are talking about and what's acceptable because, I could be wrong, but it seems as though like the offensive material only works in offensive rooms and et cetera, and yeah, we're done here. All right, goodbye. Well, thank you so much for listening. We're going to be doing this a lot more consistently, a lot more often, and we'll see how. We're going to try to make jokes. We're going to write more jokes. We're going to be funnier. We're going to be doing this a lot more often. So thank you guys so much. And send me more videos. I will react to them. I will chop it up and I will put it on Instagram for you. So yeah, let's get it done.